Touchdown, Wesley!
A chance for the Chargers, and they score!
Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Business Over Breakfast with the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce and 321 Media. I am here today with first of all, I'm Ben Barber. I should probably introduce myself. And I am here today with the always lovely Lisa Kanicki, the president of said Ocean Chamber of Commerce, celebrating its 100th year. I'm sure we'll get to that later in the show. And Danielle Souza. How are you, Danielle?
I am fantastic.
Thank you for being here. You are fantastic, by the way.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. Lisa, you brought breakfast, as always, for Business Over Breakfast. What do we got?
So I stopped at the pantry this morning. It's located right on Beach Street here in Westerly. I myself had some oatmeal and bacon. It's delicious. If you've never tried their Harvest oatmeal, I highly recommend it. It comes with nuts and craisins and all kinds of good stuff. But to go, I brought some of their fresh baked muffins. And do those not look amazing? We've got cranberry, blueberry, cinnamon, and corn. So when the show is over, you guys get to pick your muffin of choice and start your day with a delicious, fresh baked good. Thank you to the pantry for being an ongoing member of the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce and doing a great job over there.
That's
Not many
awesome.
restaurants are open at that hour of the morning.
No, I love the pantry, and the pantry has always been, for years, has been like my family's top choice for breakfast. My uncle literally goes to the pantry every single morning. Like
All the men at the bar knew each other this morning.
Yeah.
I was the odd man
I'm
out.
sure, given the time that you were there, if there was an older gentleman with a big beard sitting next to the window eating steak and eggs, that was my Uncle Johnny.
All right.
There every morning, so much so that when I heard from him for a few days a couple years ago, I was like, hey, has John been coming in? And they were like, we haven't seen him. And I'm like, oh God, and he was in the hospital.
Oh, no.
And that's how I found out was the pantry.
Oh, geez.
So huge shout out. And Justin and the new ownership, Justin and his wife, amazing.
Yeah, such hard
so-
workers.
yeah.
With their beautiful young family. They're doing a great job.
Absolutely.
And they're taking excellent care of their staff because they understand how important it is to have your frontline personnel be happy.
Yeah.
They pay them well, they treat them well, and that's why it's just been consistent since the time that they bought it. No one's left. They've done a great job.
Awesome. So let's get into it. Danielle, tell us a little bit about your business.
Well, I am a residential mortgage lender. I'm licensed in both Mass, Connecticut, and recently Rhode Island, hence the reason why I joined the chamber. And I want to give you guys a quick shout out. You guys are absolutely amazing. I watched you on social media before I joined, but the services and the resources that you're giving me as a new member and a new, fairly new business here in Rhode Island, I just want to commend you guys for all your hard work.
Thank you.
Honestly, I'm very impressed with how the chamber.
But you're taking advantage of it, and that's half the key.
Yeah.
You can join something, but giving your money, that's only going to take you halfway. You're
Yep.
showing up. You're showing up to the networking. You're showing up to the new member reception. You know, you're meeting people in the community, which in your line of business is obviously crucial.
Absolutely.
So thank you for doing that. That's how we're going to be able to service you the best and grow your network and help you become successful here as you are in other parts.
Yep, absolutely.
So how long was your drive this morning? You live in Mass, right?
I live in Mass, but I spend the summer here in Rhode Island. I have my boyfriend has a boat down in Westerly Yacht Club, so we stay all
Nice.
summer. Yeah, so I'm pretty dedicated to the community, and the future plan is to buy a place here and drop the roots and start the roots here.
Fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm
Couldn't pick
super
a better
excited.
community. And the yacht club's a fun place to socialize and
Absolutely.
to be a part.
Yep.
So how's business right now?
It's a little crazy. There's a lot of volatility. There's a lot of, uncertainties. But, as we know real estate is definitely a place to invest. Rents are out of control
They
a
are.
little bit, and it's better to invest instead of filling somebody else's pocket. Fill your own. That's kind of my motto. So yeah, it's okay though. It's good.
Yeah. I mean, inventory wise, it's pretty tight still, correct?
Yep, it
things,
is.
Things
still-
don't last long, and there's not a lot out there.
Yeah, you gotta, as a buyer, you have to position yourself the best possible way. Your agents, you have to have strong agents writing strong offers and presenting you in the best way possible. And for me as a lender, I really try to do a lot of upfront work. I'm getting your file in front of underwriting for income, because a lot of hiccups, when hiccups happen, it's because the loan officer may not have done their due diligence and had the proper calculations, because at this time we are pushing the max for who's qualified, what you're qualified for. People need to know the exact max to be able to negotiate and win that offer. So
I mean, other than your salary, what goes into that calculation? And the reason why I ask is last year, unexpectedly, I went to an open house in my neighborhood on my walking route. And I'm like, wow, I love this house. It's like mine, but better. It's up a little higher. It has a better view, and it has a little bit more closet space. All things that are very important in my world.
yeah.
And it was a Saturday, and you had to get your bids in by Monday at noon. And I'm like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
Like, this was spontaneous for me. And so I was able to, over the weekend, because the real estate agent that just happened to be hosting the open house said, I know a person,
Yep.
And so when they came back with what I was qualified for, it was way more than I would have ever expected. I'm like, that's a lot more than I'm paying right now monthly. And I don't feel like I have a huge amount of wiggle room on a monthly basis, unless I'm really overspending on my, food and entertainment. Maybe take a harder look at that. So other than your pay stubs, what is the factors? Like, how are they determining what you can truly afford?
So it's based off your gross income.
Yeah.
So that's one thing. So what goes into it, it's what we call our debt to income ratio. So your income, and we use what your minimum credit debt is. So if you have a $25 credit card payment, a $400 car payment, those calculations are considered. And then what your proposed monthly mortgage payment total would be with taxes, with insurance, with mortgage insurance, depending on how much you put down. So that is what comes up with your, debt to income ratio. And then loan programs. So there are conventional has a different cap for DTI versus FHA. USDA has a different DTI qualification.
So the amount of money you have in your retirement, the amount of money you have in your savings, does any of that factor in at all? Or no, it's just these other things?
What you have saved in your retirement strengthens. It's what we call a compensating factor. If it shows that you have significant amount of assets in reserves, but you're not pulling that monthly income out.
Correct.
So we can't use that to qualify you for the monthly, but it does strengthen your file to see if you have 200,000 in a retirement account. So,
all right.
So a lot of things go into it, and it's such it is every person's file is different.
Sure.
Every scenario is different. Every work history is different. And it's really important that you connect with and you start the process with, a loan officer who's been in the business, who knows, kind of what's going on. And for the self-employed borrowers, I do a lot of self-employed analysis and coaching, because it takes 2 years for a self-employed borrower to position themselves to be able to purchase their own home. Because, as a self-employed borrower, you don't want to pay the taxes. You don't want to pay income tax that much, but, you need to show some income, because how are you going to qualify? So it's kind of a vicious circle.
Yikes. Yeah. And how long have you been doing this? Because you speak to experience, and, you've got a variety of different scenarios that you've experienced over your time. You've probably seen it all.
Yeah. Not all, because you never see it all. But I always say 10 years, but I got to stop saying that, because it's been like 15. And I've been doing this 10 years. I'm like, holy crap, it's actually been 15. So yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. I feel that every day. this is September will be 20 years
Wow.
of this.
God,
and
you
that's
don't look
crazy
old enough
because
to
I know, and I was going to say that's crazy because I'm only 25, but I'm not 25. I'm 37, and I am.
Baby face Ben.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, fat don't crack. It's true. The last 5 years, as being a mortgage lender,
Mhm.
has got to have been
Oh,
the
extremes.
most challenging ups and downs of times, like feast or famine, market volatility. How do you it's really hard to even plan the next 6 months at any point, right?
Yeah, it's very difficult, and a lot of my career planning, over the last 5 years was before it was have a work-life balance, a family life balance, because it was anybody who was in the real estate market the last, maybe not so much the last 2 years, 3 years, but previous to that, all we were doing was just working.
Yeah.
Constantly working, and we needed a little break. So, and I've been in the industry back in 2008 when we had that whole housing crisis and people were making so much money and maybe not doing things the most ethical. I used to say, how do you sleep at night? But it's been a road, and that's part of our industry. You have to plan, you have to prepare, you have to save,
And you got to be disciplined, because for you, even your own compensation, it's not steady.
It's not steady.
It's a field where you got to earn it yourself, and you have to be able to plan ahead for those dips that you don't even know when they're going to come or why they're going to come.
Right.
That's a challenge.
Yeah, it is. And it's, now we're not even just loan advisors. Now we're content creators. We have to get out there. I know you're laughing. It's true, but people need to relate with me. I need to do Zooms. I need to do Reels. I need to make TikToks. And so now not only do us as an industry have to learn, thank God I know all the technical stuff. Now I need to learn how to be a social media guru and to be up there and front and center for the next generation coming up.
So you're recognizable and relatable to potential clients.
Absolutely.
I've been seeing some clever videos from different people out there. I'm sure you've got your finger on the pulse of what your quote competition is doing, and you can get some good ideas. But you're right, it's a little bit of a jack of all trades at this point.
And, but I firmly believe that you build business and you do business with people like and trust. I am, I've always been accessible to my clients, both my agents, just like your experience. They can call me on a Saturday and say, listen, Danielle, I need this pre-approval. I got a buyer that wants to submit an offer, and you drop everything and you do that. And, and I love that. But and I find loyalty sometimes is not always the best thing. People not always super loyal.
Sure.
So it does, it's a struggle, but I love what I do. I love helping my home buyers. I've experienced so many things, and I've overcome so many things for them just by being the squeaky wheel and saying, hey, you know what, this can be done. This I know can be done, and it makes sense. So it's just positioning and explaining that story to the underwriter to get the file through. And I always like to say, I set proper expectations if you guys are out there starting the home buying process. I'm going to say they're going to need everything but your blood type and your firstborn child for paperwork. Wow. And the reason I say that is because, me and my home buyer can have a conversation. We could talk about the story, but what we have to do is we have to tell that story in paperwork for the underwriters. Mm-hmm. So that's how I like to explain the process.
Even if you're a seasoned homeowner like myself, for example. So this is not applying just for first-time homeowners.
Yeah, this is not
so you could say, I've got great credit. I've had a house for 20 years or whatever. It doesn't matter. If you want to make a move, you want to make a switch, it's like starting all over again.
Because when you bought a house 20 years ago, if you had a good score and you didn't even need a job back then, if you think about it. Now we have to, because of what happened, we now have to totally document everything. Mm-hmm. It's a paper story to
more protections in place.
Yeah, regulation. We're a highly regulated industry. So
that could change.
Yeah, never know.
All right. How many lenders can you access in your network?
What do you mean lenders now?
So-
okay. How many people can I place a
Yeah.
home buyer with?
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I want to say, I don't even have a firm number, but I know it's up in the hundreds.
Wow.
My pricing sheet is, we have access to tons of different investors, secondary investors.
Got it.
So Northern is, I like to explain Northern Mortgage as we are a small town bank feel with a large industry support. So it feels like a small town lender, but we have access like the big corporations.
The range is huge.
The range is huge.
Yeah, awesome.
And what I really loved about Northern, because you get headhunted, you got always people reaching out. What I really liked about Northern Mortgage is our COO and our COE is led by females, which empowers me because we're a heavily male dominated industry
overall. Mhm.
So they're great. They're there. I mean, I had a file that I was struggling with getting a condo approved, and the president of our Northern Mortgage actually was working with the association to make everything work.
Wow.
It was, I mean, and I've been doing this a long time, and never have I had a president actually
Get involved
in
Yeah.
a file, and we are actually able to get it through and approved, and that speaks volumes. And that's everybody in the back office team is supportive like that. And we're licensed in 19 states. We are growing, probably 20 now that we're here in Rhode Island. So I'm super excited about that.
Well, you can tell that you're passionate about what you do, and you probably get a tremendous sense of self-satisfaction because you're a part of the most major decision for most people that they're going to make their biggest investment. And when they're signing those papers at the end there, and
it's
everyone's
the best
so
feeling.
Excited. Yeah, it is a great feeling. It is a great feeling.
Yeah, it is. But also prepping them for financial wealth in the future. I hook them up with financial planners, because now this is one stage in their life, but now you need a tax accountant, you need a financial planner, you need, insurance. And that's why joining the chamber, was such a huge impact, a need.
Well, I assume you're members of some other chambers and some other
in Mass,
communities, which is great. So you had at least a benchmark of what a chamber is, even though they're all a little different. They all have different programs.
You guys rock. So I'm just saying.
I like that. I like that. All right. So how are fees structured for you?
Fees, like compensation.
Yeah. How do you make your money? For those people watching who may not know.
We loan officers, I get paid, we all do, at the end once you close. So I could be doing tons of work with you and getting your, credit, advising you how to prep your credit to make you just that little better.
Yeah.
We get paid at closing. So that's why the loyalty is sometimes, you spend 3 months, 4 months, and then holy cow, you get the credit up, and then, a new shiny squeaky wheel.
Yep.
But that's part of our industry.
So for the consulting part of it, you're just hoping that you're going to get this family or couple or individual to the finish line.
Yep. And it's
wow.
And it comes that, it's part of closing.
A little bit of a faith aspect to
absolutely.
this,
Yep, absolutely.
Well, integrity is huge with me. So if you call Danielle, please see it through to the very end. This girl's got to eat too, No, it is hard. It's the nature of the beast. I'm sure things are competitive and people have different relationships, but
if something's better, I mean, the end result is what's better for the borrower
customer,
and with the end result. So, and I've said to people, hey, I know you can do way better here, and that's why building relationships with other loan officers are super important. I don't find it as a competitive thing at all. If I can't do something, I'd rather pass somebody to somebody I know, like, and trust.
And they're going to respect you for that. And they're going to
Absolutely.
remember you the next time something comes down the road.
It's all about relationship building.
Yep.
So,
wow. So yesterday, the feds decided they're not going to change interest rates or anything. When you hear news like that, what are your thoughts? Where's your head at?
I mean, people just need to be educated. We have a term, date the rate, marry the house, you know?
Ah,
You know, because I mean, I bought my house 25 years ago. It was 6%. You know, it's the way it is, and you got to be educated. You got to look at the 30-year, what has happened in the last 30 years, and the dips and the hills. But you know, once you have that house, you can refinance at any time.
Right.
And you know, the percentage of people who actually buy a house and stay in it for 30 years is not
So
much.
small,
So
right.
small. So don't be afraid to take that leap, because it's way better than paying rent that you're never going to get financial
Exactly.
benefits of.
I've never met a person that's regretted buying a home.
Yeah.
Never. People think they can't do it. They think, oh my gosh, how could I afford it with the whatever, the insurances, the this, the that. And then when you kind of sit down and go through the numbers, it's like you're paying it now. You're just paying it to somebody else a lot of times.
Some of my what I like to tell somebody who's thinking about buying a house is I say to them this. I say, okay, we first find out, okay, what do you qualify for? Now, how does that feel comfortably monthly? I say, if you're paying $1,500, but maybe your proposed mortgage payment is going to be $2,000, put that $2,000 away now, that extra $500, to see how it feels. Because the last thing I would ever want somebody to do is to not be monthly, set budgeting properly. So I say, now put that $500 away. Now you're paying $2,000. What does that feel like? And now that additional $500 is going to go into savings for, closing costs, down payment.
Sure.
So, if you don't know where to go, just try to just be diligent with that extra month of income
Sure.
bills.
Rent is so crazy right now too, that it just highlights that point even more. Just the hypothetical numbers that you just gave out, I was like, man, I would love to be paying $2,000
Yep.
for rent again.
See, I'm so out of touch with local rent income. Like, what's a 2-bedroom apartment going for these days?
I want to say, I think I just checked the mark because I was doing an analysis for a 2-family. I want to say it was like $1,500 for
I have
in Westerly.
I have a 3-bed, 2-bath
That you're renting.
that I'm renting.
Yep.
$2,500 a month.
Ooh,
That's almost like a house. I mean, that's a big 3-bed, 2-bath is bigger than what I live in for my house.
Yeah, it's $2,500. The thing is, there's no real bedrooms. So there's no real bedrooms. It was a full house that was then converted to a upstairs downstairs duplex. And so all of the bedrooms are upstairs on the second and third
Yeah.
floor, and we have the basement and first floor. So there's no first, when we moved in, we used the sunroom as our bedroom, which is a 10 by 10 room with a sliding glass door.
Nice.
Got way too cold in the winter, so we had to
Yeah.
move. Then we were like, we don't need this big living room. We'll use the living room as our bedroom.
There you go.
Because the other room downstairs, which is a bedroom, is an 8 by 8 office. That's not going to work. And then the other thing was the dining room. And so now we're in the dining room, and we just put a door blocking the kitchen and we have French doors. And it's like, none of the actual spaces that are bedrooms are bedrooms.
Right.
So,
You're flexible.
and the bathrooms are very, very tiny. So it's not like it's like you
Sounds
say
to me like
3
he's a candidate for
I know,
homeownership.
okay, Ben, we got to talk.
We got to talk
Yeah.
offline
yeah.
because my monthly payment for my 3-bedroom house is less than that
Yeah. So
by far.
and they're probably actual.
And there's
They're actual bedrooms.
By the way, I love
got a
if
cute
anybody
little view.
if my landlord's watching this, I love my house. Okay, we
Of
just
course you
signed
do. We're just talking.
we just signed a new lease for a year. Love the house.
Yeah,
It's great.
you're not complaining about the house. You're just saying someday you wouldn't
Yeah.
hate owning your own place.
Absolutely.
You know.
Absolutely.
So,
And I want
Um,
a pool.
well, like, I don't want to get off topic, but when we talk about the chamber stuff at the end, remind me of the new member that we just met with this week who lives in their building.
Oh,
It's
nice.
a good option for some people.
Yeah.
mixed use. We
Yeah.
call that mixed use.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, for sure.
And I actually helped a barber, which was a great setup. It was a 2-family. One side was rented. The bottom half was a salon, and he lived up in the 1-bedroom
Smart.
in the top. Great.
Never be late for work.
Never be late for work.
It does not matter if the streets are plowed or not. You're still going to be there on time.
I would find a way to be late.
You would
I would find a way to be late. I would.
maybe oversleep. Things happen. We understand.
But I could, I could use a shorter commute, honestly. So that sounds
we'll
great.
talk. We'll set
All
you
right.
up.
So, how much do people have to put down these days? I remember my first house I bought at 29 and it was 20% down. Is that
Yeah,
still the thing?
That's not the thing anymore.
What's the thing?
So USDA and VA products are 100% financing. So there's no requirement to put any money down.
Is that for first-time homeowners? Some of those programs, or
No, VA and USDA, you just can't own a property at the time of
Okay.
closing. So I've done a USDA and a VA where they sell their house in the morning, then they buy their house in the afternoon.
and they qualify by doing that.
Yep.
That's what we call a loophole.
Yep. Yep. FHA is 3.5%, and that is no first-time home buyer requirement. You just can't have another FHA home at the same
Interesting.
time. And conventional, so there are some home ready, home possible for first-time home buyers, but you have to be income qualified, which requires you only to put 3% down. That is for first-time home buyers. And then, going forward, second, if you're using conventional products, 5% is the minimum putting down.
That seems like nothing.
Yeah, not really. A lot of people utilize their 401k as a vehicle to be able to come up with some
Penalties, though.
well, up to 10,000, it's tax. It's not a penalty because you're buying your primary.
Okay, so if you were buying an investment property or a property for Airbnb or for your mother to live next door, whatever, that doesn't apply.
So Airbnbs and investments, 20% down. Now I have done a mortgage where I had a young family buy a house for their mother because they were paying and they were able to utilize that as a second home. So mom, daughter and son-in-law bought the house for mom. We structured that as a second home for mom, for them. Mom lived in it with a great.
But they still had to pay the 20% down,
No,
not the
they
5%.
only had to put 5% down.
That's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
need somebody like you to walk you
Yep.
through these scenarios
Yeah.
because there's assumptions that you
Yeah.
can't afford it.
Yeah, no, you can now. Now, as a first-time home buyer for FHA, you can buy a multifamily 1 to 4 unit,
I was just going to ask that.
and you can only have to put 3.5% down on that, but you have to live in one of the units.
Makes sense.
Okay, but that's
Great program, though.
Yeah, and what I say, if your plan is to start a real, investing in real estate, buy a multifamily for your first home. Live in it 2 years, get that rental experience from the other unit. Then now you can use, if you own a 2-family, you can use now those 2 rental incomes can be applied to your next home into the income calculation.
Got it.
A friend of mine did that. She bought a home in New London that was a 4 or 5 apartment and lived there for a year and then used that to purchase a home back in Westerly, which is where she wanted to be. And I've ever since then I've been like, you can do that? That's insane.
It's a good plan.
Yep.
Every realtor that I've ever spoken to, and I interview like 600 people a year, so it's a lot, have all said the exact same advice. Don't call the realtor first.
Yeah.
Start with a mortgage lender. If you're looking to buy a house, call a mortgage lender first. If you call a realtor, they're going to give you the mortgage lenders that they work with, but they're like, you can't. It's like going to the store and being like, I have no idea how much money I have. but I'm going
Yeah.
to try to
Why do you
fill
want
up
to
my
torture
cart
yourself
first.
and
Like,
shop for something you
don't-
can't afford?
Exactly.
Right.
Like, you don't need to go tour houses and stuff if you don't know what you can afford. And also if you're like, I'm 5 years away from buying a house, but I really want to buy a house, call a mortgage lender, because you might not be 5 years away.
Exactly.
You might be 6 months away. You might be 3 years away, but if you don't start the process now of
Mhm.
getting your stuff together, that 3 years is always going to be 3 years. So next year you'll still be 3 years away. Next year you'll still be 3 years away. Call a mortgage if you want to buy a house. If you ever are thinking about buying a house in the future, call a mortgage lender and start that process, because that's the first thing that you need to do, is know where you're at.
Yeah, and I do want to just advise, if you're online and you're just spewing in your information in an online
to
portal
anybody.
and you it spits out an approval, please steer away.
Warning.
You need to present your assets, your
The whole
income,
picture.
assets, everything. You need to submit pay stubs, bank statements, all of that, because that is only just a pre-qualification. It's not a pre-approval. A pre-approval is when the documents have been analyzed and verified, because I've too many people in the past have, I'm pre-qualified for 500,000, but then I get in there and I look at it and we're doing variable income and we know what underwriters are looking at, and we're like, I'm sorry, it's really only 400,000,
Right, right.
But God forbid you're out shopping at 5 and now you submit an offer and it's just heartbreak. I'm in the business of making dreams happen, not crushing dreams. So that's why I do so much upfront. Like we verify everything. So
It's for their best interest.
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't want to get your dreams crushed or to be disappointed.
right.
Yeah, a house is an emotional purchase. It is. It's a smart purchase, but when you walk into a house and you're looking around at homes, you have a connection to a home. You know, I can see myself here. I can see memories being made here. This feels right, which sounds so weird because you're talking about a few $100,000 and you're basing part of it on emotion.
Right.
But it's a factor. It's a real factor.
And the other thing I want to mention too, for those maybe who don't know, there are products called purchase rehab loans. So, and I've done a ton of these where you buy a house, maybe it doesn't have the best bedroom, the best kitchen or the best bathroom. There's loan programs, both FHA and conventional, which will give you money to do the rehab
As you need it.
You're looking at a house and it doesn't have the kitchen. Okay, you bring a contractor in, the kitchen's going to cost $50,000, the house price is $300,000. Now we make this whole loan $350,000, and at closing you get a check for half the material and you pay your contractor and they start the work.
Got it.
Before you even move in. That is a huge thing, because especially while inventory is low, if you love this house, you love the area, you just don't really like the layout, it's old, it needs updating, don't steer away from those properties, because there are loan programs that you can definitely utilize to fix that. And the one other thing I just want to mention, Northern has what we call an equity forward. So what that does is if you're looking to either upsize or downsize and you currently own a home, we're able to remove the contingency of selling the house by using the equity. It's basically like a bridge loan, but it's a specialty Northern product that we can kind of utilize the equity and for the down payment for the next home. So it's a pretty cool product, and it takes away any kind of, oh my God, I got to sell my house first. So
I feel like with some of these, and I don't watch a lot of TV, but there's some TV shows out there where people are buying and flipping, and they're putting the living room where the bedroom was and putting a deck where I think that's probably opened people's mind a lot more to some of these scenarios like you're mentioning, where, okay, you walk in and you don't get that feeling inside, but you can visualize, you can be brave, and you can say, well, that's, that wall can come down and this can happen. And then, and people are feeling a little bit bolder about customizing the layout inside and just getting the right town, the right neighborhood, the right price, and then just get me in it, and we can do some of these things as we go or as we grow.
Right. And as you know, me, I can get you the money to do that all in one closing. And I'm going to tell you, all the ones that I've done, which has been a lot, have walked away from, by doing the rehab, you've already grown 60, 80, 100,000 in equity by doing these upgrades.
Yep.
So it's something, like I said, don't shy away from. It's great opportunities, great products. Now, I also have done, you mentioned the flip, where the purchase rehab program does offer single family investment property flips. So kind of same thing, you get in, buy the house. I've helped, this program has helped a couple flippers I do business with get that first flip and given them that money upfront to be able to invest in the next one. So there are products out there for single family investors to flip properties as well. So
seems like it's a really competitive pool of people that are doing that these days. Like,
and then DCSR. I mean, there's so that's why you got to talk to a lender. If you want to invest in property, just see a lender, because there's all kinds of different creative products out there.
I am so sick of moving.
You've done a lot.
I'm so sick of moving. We so lived in a great place. 2020, the pandemic happened. Landlords, I don't know, something happened with the landlords, the married couple. They needed the house back. So they were like, hey, sorry, we need the house back. One of us needs the house back. And then so we found this amazing place that a friend owned, and we moved in there, and it was perfect, and it still is perfect. And then in 2022, I had to sell my parents' house out of probate after they passed. So I sold my parents' house. That was really rough. That was the emotional one. And then 2023, we moved into brand new offices for 321 when we purchased Westerly Live or Westerly Plus or whatever he called it. And then 2024, we moved into the new office upstairs, the new studio upstairs for 321. And then I moved in with my girlfriend. So I moved out of the house that I was in because my best friend and his family stayed there. And then now this year, I just moved one of my uncles who was staying with us. I just moved him into a new place last week. And then this week has been spent moving into a new studio that is hopefully going to be a long-term home for 321 because it's gorgeous and huge compared to where we were. So I'm just like, if I could I just want to stay put for like 3 years.
Yeah. So your new place, a 1-year lease, 3-year lease, what are you doing with the new place?
For
321.
Oh, I have no idea. That's why I have Patrick.
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I think it's
All
1
right.
year. I think it's 1 year, but
1 year. So you could be moving in a year.
we could.
Worst case scenario.
I don't think we're going to. We're putting a lot into it.
Yeah.
But and it's gorgeous, and I can't wait for people to see it. And I just talked to Jay. Speaking of people that have been on this, we just talked to Jay and our senior sheet metal to get a big custom 321 metal sign to hang on the
They're
wall.
super
behind
talented.
To hang on the wall behind reception. He was like that. By the way, can I just say shout out to the Ocean Community Chamber of Commerce, because that is the magic of this show and the chamber in general. Is we're putting together office chairs out there, or the reception desk and stuff. And Patrick is like, do we know anybody that makes metal signs? And I'm like,
ding, ding, ding.
I'm like, yeah, well, I'm thinking that he's talking about the sign on the road, right? Which is a wooden sign that we just need graphics for.
Yep.
And I'm like, yeah, we'll call Jeff at Coastal Graphics and he can do it. And he's like, no. I think like they'd have to ship that out for that. I'm talking about a metal sign. And I have no idea what he's talking about. And then he's like, no, on this wall right here behind reception, I want a metal sign that is like 3D printed and cut. That is just our logo. No, like there's not.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I have no. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah, I do. J&R Senior Sheet
They were
Metal.
just on the
They
show.
were on the show. They have a 3D printer. They have a laser cutter. They work with metals.
Yep.
Yep. Hold on. Let me call
And
Jess.
they're great.
And immediately she was like, "Yeah, send me a PDF. We can have that done for you, no problem." So thank you, Lisa.
That's what chambers are all about.
Yeah.
And hopefully this show today will make some connections for you in our community, which would be fantastic.
Yeah. Call Danielle.
Well, I'll tell you,
all
the
the
next
times
time I
earlier when I
go
was
by an open house that has 24 hours for me to get my financing together, you're going to be my go-to. Even though that individual was able to do it for me, and
Sure.
I ultimately was the fourth highest bidder out of like 20. You know, that was not a chamber member. That was my real estate agent, who's a chamber member,
Yep.
saying,
Yeah.
desperate times, this can happen today if you do it. So
Yeah.
I'm sure you don't love those desperate times, but
Yeah.
it's part of the nature of the
It's-
beast,
it's
right?
the nature of the beast. I'm a weekend warrior. I tell everybody all the time.
Yeah.
So no worries.
Yep. Every mortgage lender I've ever met, most of them, always answer their phone. Yeah, because you never know when someone's
Yeah.
going to call you with an emergency of I need to do that. And thank you for that. That is a lot
Any
of times
other
a thankless
advice that you
job.
have for people before we kind of wrap up your segment here?
No, just don't be afraid, and don't be. One other thing is credit. I'm seeing the younger generation have been very well educated on credit, I
Mhm.
feel, but there are some people that are still worried about, they're a little maybe shameful. My credit's not that great. I spent 20 minutes with a borrower who said she had been through 3 lenders and not one of them could help her. I said, let me just take a look at your profile. All she had to do was open a secure credit card for $300 and her score went up like 50 points.
Wow.
It's just a matter
Little
of,
tips and tricks.
yeah, you got to just don't be ashamed. Don't be shy. Don't be worried. We've seen it all. We know how to adjust
You've got
it.
some tools.
We have the tools that are going to tell you what you need to do to get your score where you need to be. And if you're motivated and dedicated in wanting to buy a house, you're going to be able to do it. So that's my advice.
And how do people reach you?
My lifeline, my cell is 413-949-0422. I'm on the chamber page. I think if you Google me, you'll find all kinds of Zillow reviews, all kinds of reviews. I believe my number is all over the web. So Danielle Souza with Northern Mortgage.
Fantastic.
Thank you, Danielle. Lisa, we got a party of the century this weekend?
We do. Sunday night is going to be outstanding, and the weather is looking perfect, as I predicted it would be. Actually, what I'm really predicting is a ridiculous, over the top, lots and lots of food. We have a great band that is going to keep us dancing. One of their questions yesterday is, so do we start off slow and ease people in, or do we go full throttle? And the whole committee, without hesitation, said full throttle right out of the gate. So from the very first song until the time that they're done, the band is going to be rocking. We've got a chocolate tower by Hauser Chocolates. We have horse-drawn carriage rides by Roll Haven Farms that comes in with 2 black and white horses that are beautiful, pulling a carriage that can hold like 10 or 12 people. So for those who want to go on a little tour of Watch Hill while they're all glammed up for the party, they can do that. We have a really neat thing. It's about the size of this conference table. It's the chamber logo that has been handcrafted out of wood and cut into jigsaw puzzle pieces and dyed. So our logo is a giant anchor, and then it has a wave on each side, 3 different color blues. Dan Morantz, a local artist, has created this for us, the 3 different blues. And when you come to our event, there'll be a giant table set out like this with the framework of our logo. And then there's piles over here where you go, you grab a piece out of the pile. It tells you which side is up. You autograph it. And then you walk over to the table and you find where that piece fits in the overall puzzle of our logo. And when it's all done and all 200 plus people have signed a piece, that's going to be finished and that's going to be hung in our building
That's awesome.
forever
Oh, wow.
to commemorate all these people that were there to celebrate our 100th with us.
That's awesome.
It's really neat. It's kind of like, when a new building goes up, they have the signing of the beam
Yeah.
that goes up and it's always there. It's along those lines. And
That's awesome.
it's either going to be in our conference room or in our lobby. And Dan's put a lot of heart and soul in it. He was so excited about the project. So we were happy to include that artistic vision. And then last night, while we were down there on site, because this event takes place on Bay Street, right next to the gazebo, literally on a huge piece of grass, a gorgeous tent will be set up and all the boats are going by and the sunset's right there. But I had one more idea of something that would put our party over the top and made a phone call. So I can't reveal it yet because I need a permission first from a key individual. But I think there's going to be one additional activity that's involved with our party that night that will make it extra, extra special.
Oh, I love it. That's so cool.
Yes.
Maria texted me and said that that the feed had cut out for a few seconds at the beginning. The only thing that we missed was that you were saying what color the sky was in Watch Hill.
The Sherbert colors, the purple, the orange, and the watermelon pink. So yes, I'm telling you, it's going to be great. We were down there last night at 6:00 and we're like, this is magical right now. It was cool being by the water. And we said, this is what we're going to have on Sunday, but better. The theme for clothing, which seems to be everybody's concern, it's called Golden Hour Glam. Okay. It's not a black tie event. It's Golden Hour Glam. So you could come if you're a gal in a sundress. That's perfectly. Golden hour is sunset. Glam is your definition. You want to wear fancy jewelry with a cotton dress? We'd love to have you. If you want to go all out, like some of our committee members, and go, wow, 100 is gold, usually themed, and golden hour, let me put on a piece of gold. I know someone that's wearing a gold scarf. I know someone that's wearing a sequin gold blazer. Some of the girls are wearing gold dress. Whatever. Come as you are. We're just thrilled to have you be a part of this historic moment in time and this great party. There is not going to be long speeches. It's just going to be pure fun. There's still tickets available. It's $125 a person, open bar, great food, great time. We would love to see you. I guarantee you will have a wonderful time. Guarantee it.
Absolutely. And couldn't have a better venue for it.
Yes, thank you, Watch Hill Fire District.
Yes.
Because it's their property. They've never allowed a group like this to have a party on their green. This is not going to be an annual thing that they do.
Yeah.
But it's the chamber and it's 100 years. And they said, we will make this exception. So we
That's
recognize how fortunate we are to have been given that support.
So this is literally a once in a lifetime
Sure.
opportunity to come to this party in one of the most beautiful places on earth.
Yeah.
Tomorrow is the deadline for submissions for 50 over 50.
Yes. Now, first of all, thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
Because our 50 under was a huge success. We had 240 people at that event come to recognize the 50 winners. And Saltwater Farm did a great job. Fortunately, we had perfect weather because with a crowd that size, the interior of their building could have never held it. Everybody. So people were outside on the lawn, enjoying great wines. The presentation of the awards went like clockwork. Grace was going at a pace like this. It was just enough. It was networking, fun, celebration, and people got their gorgeous plaques, which I'm sure you saw with the
I
plaques.
did.
They
I
looked
did.
first rate.
By the way, I was at the event. Lisa can attest that I was at the
You
event. I was at the event.
I saw you.
I don't know how long I was at the event, but I was at the event.
Yeah, I saw you there. So it was wonderful. And I hope that that kind of recognition inspires people to take the time over the next day to nominate others in the region who are giving back to the community through volunteer service. They're leading in their industry and they're over 50. So maybe they've been slugging away at it for, 30 years at this point. Who knows? But there's some great people out there. Let's try to cover a bunch of different industries. And one of the things I know that the committee did with the 50 under, I don't know if they'll do that again, is in some cases we had 4 or 5 people from one institution that were nominated. Like, you have employers with 500 people
Sure.
in this community. So it's not shocking that more than one would get nominated. But because we had so many great nominations, what they decided out of the gate is no more than one per company. So I don't know if that'll happen again, but there were no repeat organizations at it. And that definitely spread it around. And you had members of the chamber, non-members of the chamber. You had artists, you had corporate bank leaders, you had everything in between.
Yep.
And that's what made the night really fun and rich. And I thank you for all the interviews that you provided to introduce these people to the community. You've met some amazing people.
I loved it. So sweet. I loved that show, and I can't wait to do it again. And 50 over 50, these people have even more stories to tell. So
We couldn't do it without you. That was such a great component of the overall
thank you.
project. It was just enough between the event, the social media piece of it.
Yep.
And it was just, like I said, it was just enough. So this
Um,
is all part of our 100th. That's
yeah.
why we did 50 under, 50 over. It's our 100th year. It's just another one of those projects that we said we're going to do.
So go to go to Facebook, go to the website, get the information,
Oceanchamber.org.
oceanchamber.org, and nominate some people
The
because
application's easy.
it's super easy. And I'm going to nominate some people after this.
Oh,
Because
fantastic.
by the
too.
way, I did do the interviews, not a part of the selection committee. Me, I was not a part. I didn't choose anybody, and that was great because I got to meet
You had
everybody.
plausible
I
deniability.
had plausible
Nobody
deniability.
that got nominated and didn't, quote, win can be mad at you.
Nobody can be mad at me.
Right. You were just the good guy.
I was just the good guy, which is
Yeah.
the way that I like it.
Yeah, we've got broad shoulders. We're used to people,
Yeah.
sometimes saying, "Oh," with us. So,
Yeah.
but there's only 50. So
There's only 50
I don't know.
spots.
Will we do it again in the future? I have no idea. Let's just get through this year. This is one of the.
Please.
It is not a fundraiser at all.
Nope.
It is something that we're doing because it feels right. It feels right in our 100th year to spread this recognition the same way that we're spreading sponsorship dollars throughout the community, sponsoring the Johnny Cakes event that they had, sponsoring the Blues on the Beach in the town, sponsoring the concerts in Watch Hill. We're taking our little fairy dust as a chamber, which is dues that people pay us and fundraising that we do in the community, and we're putting it right back out there on a year that we really needed ourselves for our new building at 170. But this is the right thing to do,
Yeah.
especially this year.
I will say this: I will gladly volunteer to interview 100 more people in the future.
Wow, if we decide to keep
Yeah,
it going.
yeah.
Wow. Well,
So-
let's get through this year. Make sure Grace doesn't quit. And, because all these things we're doing this year are, added
On
on
events.
to
Yeah.
what we normally do. So, both Maria and Grace are amazing individuals, wonderful women, but incredible soldiers working at the chamber, a tiny staff of 3. And so I'm not, unaware of how this affects them in terms of layering these additional projects,
Of
like
course.
the Nutcracker Trail, the party this weekend. It's stretching them. It's stretching all of us.
Oh, I'm so sad. I really wanted our Nutcracker to just leer out the window down on Dixon Square,
Uh-huh.
and that's not going to be a possibility anymore unless Diane, who took over the space, lets us do that. But we'll find a good spot for it. Also, I feel so bad talking about putting extra stuff on Grace's plate. Last week on Business Over Breakfast, it was just me and Grace, and I mentioned how, in addition to everything that she does with all of the events, she also coordinates
I heard it.
lunch for the board meetings. And I was like, I feel so bad because every time that there's a
I
board
don't
meeting,
respond.
you're like, you send out an email and then you'll send out a text reminder to
Reminder.
me. And she was like, you're not the only one, of like, here are the 5 lunch options, like pick one. And it's like, we need it by Wednesday at noon. And then on Wednesday at noon, I'll get a text like, okay, we need it by 5. And I was like, I promise I won't do that next time. I promise. 5:00 last night. Hey, are you coming tomorrow? Cause I really need a lunch. Or I'm like, oh crap. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Uh-huh.
I did it again. So Grace, I'm
So
sorry.
we have 24 board members. And I would say maybe a third to a half of them are in that category. And if you're a board member and you're watching today, I beg of you, respect Grace's time. She has better things to do than run around.
She definitely
chase
has better
people.
time to do.
Try to get yourself in the habit of just looking at the menu of 5 items and picking one.
Yeah.
I said to her, at some point, we're just going to go, if you don't respond by Wednesday at noon, you're getting the tuna salad or you're
Yeah.
getting the default meal,
Yeah.
like it or not,
Yeah.
because it is hard. And we're all professionals. So something to strive for. We'll give everyone one more month and then it's going to be peanut butter and jelly.
There we go. There we go. Well, I deserve peanut butter. and
You got
jelly
another
for
month.
this. Um,
I want to mention one more thing.
Please do.
Tuesday, coming up this Tuesday. If you've been driving by the corner up on Granite Street, which used to be Hoxie Buick back in the day, you see that new restaurant is now opened, Ozo, O-Z-Z-O. They're doing churros and coffees and other great things. So they're having their official ribbon cutting on Tuesday at 5:30. Please come. When we have these ribbon cuttings, it means so much to a small business when there's 15 or 20 people standing there as they cut the ribbon. They feel supported. They feel like people care. This has been the fruition of, blood, sweat, tears, finances, dreams, everything. Join us. 15 minutes of your life. Come be a part of the ribbon cutting. Check out the new business.
And that is Wednesday.
Wednesday?
August 6th.
Come on. I have Tuesday the 5th.
I'm getting text messages.
Oh, whatever text message you're getting is correct. but
Yes.
Why do I have
Ribbon
Tuesday?
cutting is 8/6.
Come on. All right. Well,
That was fast. She was on that fast.
No. Hey, that's why we have a great backup team. But I was convinced that it was the 5th, so I feel bad. But please be there whenever it is. And
Yeah.
for all of our ribbon
Or just
cuttings,
go. Guys, just go there every day and just hang out.
well, you could do that too. You could definitely do that too. So yeah, that's right around the corner. And then we have our Compass series, which is if you're a chamber member, it's a free professional education program. And the topic of this next one, which hopefully is on Tuesday, August 19th from 12 to 1:30, is the core tenets of leadership. And that's at our chamber office. So we have a beautiful conference room. You can sign up for that at no charge. If you're a non-member, there's a small fee because, of course, we're providing you with lunch and a great educational opportunity. And if your phone is going off right now with different information, I'm going to just be red-faced, but hopefully not. Also, it's not for another 5 weeks, but I'm going to put it out there because it's always so popular. Starting September 1st is when we take the reservations for the buoy workshops. If you live in Stonington and you have children in the Stonington school system or you homeschool, you're eligible to sign up to do a free buoy that your kids paint that gets displayed on this year's lobster trap tree. Those 2 workshops take place later in the month of September, one at the Stonington Como and one at La Grua Center. But you want to register the day that registration opens or you won't get in. It's a very special thing to own a buoy that gets put on that tree. So just heads up, follow our Facebook page or look on our website. The workshops themselves are on the 20th and 21st of September. That's all I got.
All right.
Come to our party.
Yeah, come to the party. Tickets are still available. Go to oceanchamber.org. Thank you to all of the chamber champions scrolling at the bottom throughout this entire episode. Thank you to our advertisers for this show, Lathrop Insurance and Wireless Zone at 224 Post Road. Patrick will be there today, right? Because it's the new board.
Yes.
Today's the first day of the new board.
Yes,
Nice.
he's going to get hazed.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I'm going
Uh-huh.
to make fun of that goatee.
I'm going to separate you two. You're seated on
come
opposite
on.
ends of the
That might be
table.
worse. If we're on opposite ends of the table, we can look at each other. That might be
We're going to have
worse.
to give Grace, pay attention where you put those name tags today. We
Um,
got to do this strategically.
I love it. I love it. Oh, also, you guys mentioned months and months and months ago that you really loved the big chair, the big office chair that was at our studio.
Yeah.
I'm going to give that to you.
I want to
you'd
say,
like it.
yeah, we'll take it. We will take it. I don't know where we're going to use it yet.
That's fine. I don't
It
care
could
where you
be
use it.
At the new building, 170 Main Street. where we're going to have the duck race office.
I don't have a place for it.
Okay, we'll
I'm
take
going
it.
to give it to you.
We'll take it.
Okay. So
We now have a little bit of storage room that we can put something like that in.
perfect.
So that might be a good chair for down there,
yeah.
because eventually 20,000 ducks are going to migrate to 170,
Yeah.
and that will be the foundation office, and we'll have them in storage over there.
Love it. Love it. Thank you guys so much for being here. Danielle, thank you so much.
Great job, Danielle.
Yeah,
It's a
you were
pleasure
awesome.
spending
Thank you.
time with you this morning.
It's a pleasure learning more and more about you guys and meet more people. Love it. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. Go to oceanchamber.org for more information. And here at 321, we'll have a big announcement about our new studio Saturday, probably. So thank you
Awesome.
guys so much for being here. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.
Hi, this is Dan from Lathrop Insurance. In this challenging insurance environment, Lathrop Insurance can be your beacon in the storm to help you find the coverage you need at the right price. Now, more than ever, you need a partner in the insurance industry that can work with multiple carriers to make sure you have the right coverage at the right price. Lathrop Insurance carries home, auto, and business insurance and can be reached at 401-596-2525. We've been supporting the local community since 1939, and we look forward to working with you.
What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick down here at the Wireless Zone at Dunn's Corners at 224 Post Road, and everybody down here is getting the brand new iPhone 16. We have it here in stock. The best part is, right now, if you trade in your old phone, you get it for free. We got deals all weekend, awesome savings. Come on down and see us, 224 Post Road, Dunn's Corners, Verizon Wireless Zone. We'll see you soon.